Hi, Peter Jones, Chartered Surveyor, author and property investor, and in this short series of videos we're looking at SPVs, what they are and how we use them, the use of limited companies and lending to limited companies, because it's all part and parcel of the same subject. I thought it would be useful to separate it out. Now, in the last video we were looking at the fact that an SPV is not a specific type of entity. An SPV, a special purpose vehicle, could be any type of business entity that you want to use, but you're using it for a specific purpose. So, for example, it could be a limited company, it could be a partnership, it could be an LLP, it could be whatever you want it to be, but you're using it for a specific purpose. So a question could be, well, Peter, when would I use an SPV? Great question. And again, there's probably 101 different answers to this, so I'm going to go through this very, very quickly and give you a very general overview. But a good example of when you might use an SPV, which we touched on in the last video, is if you're taking on a JV partner. Now, maybe that JV partner, depends how you're structuring it, of course. Maybe you're putting in the money, maybe they're putting in the money, doesn't really matter. But you would sit down and you would agree with your JV partner, for example, what it is that they want to get out of the JV agreement, and you start talking to them about the way that they want to structure the JV agreement, presumably so that you both feel safe and protected within it. And one way to do that can be to set up a limited company. That could be an SPV for a JV, or you could set up an LLP, depending upon what you're trying to achieve. That could be an SPV for a JV. Or it could be maybe even just a straightforward plain partnership agreement. That could be an SPV for a JV. It doesn't really matter. The point is that the SPV itself is not a particular type of entity, and you would choose and create the entity which fits what you're trying to achieve. Another aspect of using an SPV, which we touched on in the last video, is because of clause 24, many more people are now buying properties into a limited company. Now, let's think about that, because this is very important when it comes to finance. We'll think a lot more about finance in the next video. But when you go to a bank and you ask for finance, they're going to look at the SPV that you're using, and they're going to establish whether they want to lend to the SPV. They'll be establishing whether they want to lend to that particular type of entity. So the question could be, for example, if I set up a JV using an LLP, will a bank lend to me? Honest answer, I don't know, because the bank are going to look at you and they're going to look at your JV partner and they're going to look at how you've structured your LLP, and then they're going to come to a decision. It may be that you want to buy property with a JV partner into a limited company. So again, the question is, will they lend to that limited company? Again, it's not really a matter of they'll lend because it's an SPV or they'll lend because it's a limited company. They'll be looking at you and your JV partner, and then they'll be making the decision. Now, one question which I'm asked quite regularly is, Peter, should I set up a new SPV every time I buy a property? Again, there's 101 answers to that, but I'm going to give a very general overview. If you're buying properties in your name and your name alone, and for example, if you're perhaps creating a buy-to-let portfolio and you're going to keep a lot of properties, you may as well keep them all in one entity. I can't see any reason why you would want to split those properties between different entities. Any brokers watching or any accountants who may have different ideas, then please comment below. I'd be really interested in your thoughts. But I can't see any advantage to that. If you're accumulating and collecting properties, you may as well just have the one entity if they're all going to be in your name, or maybe in the name of a life partner, spouse, significant other. Keep them all in one. However, if you are thinking of doing multiple deals with multiple JV partners, then it would make sense to ring-fence each of those deals, and so you would ring-fence them maybe by setting up an SPV and putting each property that you do with a particular JV partner into a particular SPV which has been created for that purpose. Now again, you'll have to sit down with your JV partner and agree what that SPV is going to be. Is it going to be a limited company? Is it going to be an LLP? Is it going to be a straightforward partnership agreement? Sit down with them and agree that. And one of the factors which may help you decide that is obviously sitting down with your accountant, working out what's going to be best for you from a tax point of view, because each of the different entities is going to be treated differently from a tax point of view. Next video, we're going to talk a lot more about actually raising finance from banks for limited companies or SPVs. So I'll see you in the next video. Here's to successful property investing.